In this video, it will cover our Module 3, which is analyzing factual and non-fictional elements in the text. This video lesson will provide you a detailed discussion about different non-fictional elements such as the plot, characters, characterization, point of view, angle, setting, and atmosphere. Just like what you have learned in our previous discussion, you learned that creative nonfiction is a fact-based storytelling in an interesting and artistic manner. But it is not easy as it sounds because the writers should be dedicated in preserving the truth of her story. You have to remember the important details must be included which provide answer to the questions who, what, why, where, and how. Therefore, creative nonfiction is informative rather than entertaining. Now, to become creative in writing a creative nonfiction, you have to use different elements, and these are plot, characters, characterization, point of view, angle, setting, and atmosphere. Now, first on the list is the plot. We all know that plot is a logical arrangement of events and actions in the story. However, in creative nonfiction, plot is an organization of information, building up an argument, proving point of view or perspective, and coming up with a convincing conclusion. In addition, plot is like a roadmap. It also serves as a guide to readers from one point to the next so that it would be clear when their narrative is going and arriving at the logical and the informative conclusion. Therefore, creative nonfiction is informative, but it is also argumentative. In a non-fictional plot, chronology is more important than casuality or fiction. But in real life, events are connected with one another by virtue of time. Thus, plot in every story, including a short story, starts with the beginning, middle, and the end. This is the basic principle of the three-act narrative plot structure. Or they are also known as the setup, the confrontation, and the resolution. Next one is the character. Character is an individual, it's usually a person who does the actions and makes events happen in a narrative or a work of creative nonfiction. One of the vital elements in the story is the character. Characters may be protagonists or antagonists, static or dynamic. But this is not the case for creative nonfiction. Since we talk about nonfiction or factual stories, the characters are real people and their stories are based from the accounts of their real life experiences. On the other hand, there are also some writers who make themselves as the characters in their own stories, like autobiographies, personal essays, personal narratives. There are also some writers who take their characters from other people's life experiences, like biographies and anecdotes. And this leads us to characterization. Characterization is the act or method of creating a character not only in creative nonfiction but also in different writing genre. In creative nonfiction, the character is the actual person. Therefore, the characterization is complete. The information and traits of the characters are from real people, the family history is in place, the physical description is a given, even their inborn or acquired trait values and among other qualities. But that does not make the writing easier. The task is merely different, especially in doing justice to a person whom you and many others have known, while also doing justice to the fact that you know the person in your own way, filtered through your own emotions, biases, and experiences. Next one is point of view, which is also known as viewpoint. This tells the readers the perspective from which a story is told. It may be in the first-person point of view, second-person point of view, and third-person point of view. Point of view is another crucial element in nonfiction because it is the perspective from which the writer recounts narrative or presents information. One of the most commonly used point of view by the creative nonfiction writers is the first person point of view. Writers of nonfiction may rely on the first person point of view, the I or the we, the second person you, your, and your, or the third person he, she, it, and they. Next one is the angle. Angle in nonfiction directs the writer on how to look on a specific topic in an interesting and artistic manner. Next one is the setting. Setting, being fiction or non-fiction, refers to the immediate and literal or even actual locale or place in which the action happens, the time and date in which it happens, and the conditions or weather surrounding the character. So even in the historical period, the community that inhabits the geographical space and the remarkable events in the narrative is under the setting element. The last one is the atmosphere. Atmosphere in creative nonfiction, also known as the feeling, emotion, or mood that the writer creates in the story through a narrative form through the use of descriptive language. This literary device is the emotional atmosphere in which the action takes place, as well as the emotional atmosphere that the reader is encouraged to internalize while they are reading. So through the atmosphere, it is usually established very quickly in a work of literature. It can change throughout the text depending on the scene or the stage of character development. Atmosphere is a very important and necessary part of any writing genre, though it is not always intentionally created on the part of the writer. Many different elements contribute to the atmosphere: the diction and setting that the writer chooses, the descriptions of people and things, and the way that characters speak to each other, and so on. The content information that are presented in this video are not mine. They are all listed in our Module 3, which provided by our school division of Bulacan. So this ends my lesson. I hope that you learned something from me, and see you on our next video lesson. Goodbye!